Welcome to the International English Language Testing System taking place on Tuesday, 10th of October 2023. The examiner is Samuel Jamana. The examiner ID number is S1202224 and the candidate is Rukayat Asim and the candidate ID number is S120222106. May I please see your identification card, please?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening.
So, what is your full name and what shall I call you?
My full name is Rukayat. However, I prefer you to call me Rukayat.
Okay, so Rukaya, do you work or are you a student?
Well, I'm a student currently and I'm reading class 7 in Neighbor High School and College.
Okay, and what about your favorite food, your favorite color? I mean, what are your hobbies also?
If I talk about my favorite food, it's going to be biryani, and for color, it's going to be black and white as well. And if I talk about favorite place, it's going to be actually I really like mountains, so I prefer Bandarban.
Okay, so Rukaya Tasnim, today is our speaking test, as you know, and this test is total divided into 3 parts. In the first part of this test, I'm going to ask you a few personal questions about traveling. So, do you enjoy traveling?
Well, yeah, as a person like me who is introverted, I really like traveling because I like nature more and than the city life, because in nature gives me the peace. It makes me feel really calm, quiet thing. So I think I really like the mountains, the nature. So I do like travel and I like to go traveling for those places.
Okay, have you done much traveling?
Well, I already travel in my country currently now. I went to Sajik, which is a place for mountains. I went there. It is really, really beautiful. And I went to Cox's Bazar a few times. And also, it is also really an amazing place. So I really liked it. And
okay. Do you think it's better to travel alone or with other people?
Well, obviously, I think that it is better to travel with more people because you can enjoy your traveling than become alone. When you're with friends or family, you will get much, and you can get much.
Okay.
You can enjoy more if you when you're alone, you cannot enjoy because you don't have anyone to talk to with. But when you're with family or friends, you can go to anywhere with them and talk anything you like with them about the places or anything.
Okay, where would you like to travel in the future?
Well, my hope is I want to go to another country because I have seen much things about my country, but now I want to do something new. So I want to go to another country for traveling. If I talk about which country, I'm gonna choose Maldives because it is really beautiful. As I mentioned that as a person like me, I really like nature, so I want to go there.
Okay, so that is the end of part 1. Now let's move to part 2. In this part, you will have a particular topic and you will have to talk about the topic for 2 minutes or even more. But before that, you have 1 minute to think what you're going to say, and also you can make some notes if you want. So here's your cue card, here is a piece of paper and a pencil. And your 1 minute starts now. Okay, so your 1 minute ends here. Now you have 2 minutes to talk about the topic you are given.
So the topic, as the topic says, I'm gonna describe my brother. So My brother is now 5 years old now, and he is in play at the Icon school. And if I talk about how this child is, I think that he is really naughty, as every sibling says about his brother or sister. And but sometimes when he's naughty or not, but when my mom scolds me, sometimes he consoles me by saying anything funny or doing anything, and I get happy with him for this. But nowadays he's so much naughty than before. He was like then, because before I know that he was little, and so he cannot do anything that much, so he was not that much. And now that nowadays he's so much naughty than before. And also there is a thing that every sibling has like this fight with everything, so I think that is very normal with my siblings. But when it comes to some moments like sweet moments or awesome moments, but those time I think they're really sweet or any nice in those moments. And that's all about my brother.
Okay, so your 2 minute ends here, and with this is the end of part two. Part two. Now let's move to part three. In this part, I'm going to ask you a few questions about children and their parents spending time together. Okay, so how much time do children spend with their parents in your country? And do you think it's enough?
Well, nowadays in our country, most of the women are housewives, so they are in their home they are in their home a lot of time. And I think children gets to spend much time with their mother more than their father, because the father has to work, but mother they always stay at home, so they don't need to go out for if there is anything. And when the child comes back for school, they can spend much time with their mother. So I think that but when it is night, they can get the time to spend time with their father. And I think it is really enough, because in this and this type of thing is really normal. I think it is enough.
Okay, how important do you think spending time together is for the relationship between parents and children?
Please repeat again, I think.
How important do you think spending time together is for the relationships between parents and children?
Well, I see that nowadays children are more on their phone, and they don't get the time to spend time with their parents. But I think this because of this, the children cannot learn more things, because you don't get the chance to chance to speak to your friends. Then you don't get to learn about more things, and you can be even more not socializing more. So I think that is really a bad effect. And I think it is really when you don't get a chance when you don't get the time you don't want to spend, parents would also feel sad about that. And if you don't realize it, then you can also feel sad about it.
How have relationships between parents and children changed in the recent years, and why do you think that is?
As I mentioned, that children are now on their phone devices than before, because our parents didn't get the time to spend their times to for the devices. They didn't really get those devices. They can spend their time more on their parents or any friends. So I think in this generation, children are more on their phone, and they don't get the time to spend time with their parents. Or also, if I talk about the parents nowadays, a lot of people are changing back then. They are getting jobs and jobs more. And so I think that when parents also don't have that much time to spend with their children.
And now I will ask you a few questions about children's free time and free time activities also. What are the most popular free time activities children are doing today? And are they good for their health?
If I talk about that, well, children are more on their phone, so they just spend their time on their phone. But when they use phone, if I got over small children, they spend their time more than on doing some drawings or crafting videos, and I think it is a good effect. But when you're doing it for games or anything that, so I think that is not a bad effect for them. But but it is not okay to use it too much.
Okay, do you think that free time activities children do today are good for their health, and why is that? I mean, when a children is having free time, whatever they are doing, in case this is you have to mention the activities, not using the phone. So, do you think it's good for their health?
Well, if I talk about rather than the devices, they can spend their time with their parents or with any relatives with them or doing anything outdoor games. So I think that there's really a good effect because for that one you can practice, you can physical exercise can be happen for them, and when you're talking with your relatives or your parents, so the socializing will happen to you more.
Okay, how do you think children's activities will change in the future? Will this be a will this be a positive change?
Mm. Well, nowadays there are a lot of devices growing more and more, and people, if I talk about there, if more about because we all know that there will be a digital life in the future. So I think that students will be more on the devices, and I think it's a really bad effect for them.
Okay, so thank you so much, Bukatasi, for taking this test, and this was the end of part 3, and with this, your whole test has ended.